and to shed more light on the importance of the 10th Ministerial Conference of the Arab-Chinese Cooperation Forum that is currently held in Beijing. We are joined over the phone by Dr. Hassan Wagih, Professor of Political Sciences at Al-Azhar University. Good afternoon, Dr. Hassan.
Good afternoon to you.
So, Dr. President Fattah al-Sisi today gave an important address to the 10th Ministerial Conference of the Arab-Chinese Cooperation Forum in Beijing. How do you read his speech?
Yes, I think this is a very important summit. It is very important for the Arab system, as well as it is very important for the Chinese government too.
Yes.
So each party should have an opportunity to enhance what I may call the system of just peace and stability and economic growth. So the summit is discussing all these dimensions. You cannot make ugly wars are raging as we can see what's happening in Gaza. So this item or this news really occupy a very important place in the summit.
So the President also stressed that the Arab water security issue is a top priority in future cooperation with the Arab-Chinese Forum, as it is considered an existential threat. So how do you read this statement?
Yeah, actually it is very important that this kind of cooperation between Arab countries and China, you know, the strategic objectives and its strategic relation between the two parties is very important and is intended to establish the international law again. And when it comes to water resources, if we do not operationalize the international law, the whole world would be in disputes on all resources. So this will lead to zero-sum games, and this is not favorable for any stability or any economic growth for everyone in the world. So I think the Chinese leadership, along with Arab states, as we can see in this summit, is extremely important and a very positive force to bring the international law back to its own place to govern the relations between countries, and especially when it comes to water resources and the resources at large.
So, sir, how has the President Sisi's visit to China underscored the significance of the Egyptian-Chinese strategic partnership over the past decade?
Yes, when it comes to the strategic relationship between Egypt and China,
yes,
of course, this is an old relationship with a good relationship. It became 2 decades ago as a strategic one, and I think the visit of the President is intended to deepen that kind of relation. And you know, when we teach courses in cross-cultural communication, we can see that the benefit of such a thing, cross-cultural communication in the world at large, is to avoid barriers or misunderstanding among the armed states. But there is a third important objective of cross-cultural communication, which is to make any relationship much more deeper and meaningful. And I think that when it comes to our relation with the West, we have the two parties of misunderstanding and barriers, while with China, it could be very in the third dimension, which is making and deepening the relationship between the two countries, because we have almost the same stances culturally speaking. We belong to the East, and we belong together to the high context culture, which should be a very good opportunity for us. And this is, you can see the visit of the President along this cognitive lens, while he is very keen to deepen the relationship to a more strategic level and to make it effective in trying to solve real life problem in the area and in the world.
So, sir, considering China's substantial investments in Egypt's infrastructure, such as the new administrative capital, what impact does this have on Egypt's economic development?
Actually, the projects conducted by the Chinese government in the form of cooperation between the two countries really took the dimension of a very important dimension, which is the infrastructure dimension. So the infrastructure is a wide term that could, under so many things, could be subsumed under it. Like when you are doing that in the new capital, no administrative capital, yes, you open up the horizon for an entire city, a smart city, to be established, to be considered an excellent move for the economy and for the demography. I think the participation of China in such a project is very telling that China care about mega projects and important projects in infrastructure, as well as in the Suez Canal area too. So I think the cooperation is taking a good stance towards real projects that really has impact when it comes to economic return, inshallah.
So, sir, one final question. How do Egypt and China's shared political position on Middle East conflicts, particularly regarding the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, contribute to the strength of their bilateral ties? And also, China is supporting Egypt's humanitarian efforts in Gaza, and its stance on international law bolstered the diplomatic relations between the two countries. So what's your take on this?
I think the joint work between Egypt and China and between the Arab states and China is extremely important for putting an end to the Gaza war. The communique is expected to tell us something about the most important thing, which is the keen contemplation on having two-state solution. There is nothing but two-state solution. This was the leaders confirmed, and actually the Arab summit and the East and the Arab states and China would make a very important positive force for international community, especially when it comes to there was a terrible war of media, or media wars. Media wars could be observed, and it is intended to escalate the conflict in the area. But in Egypt and with China and with the Arab states, we hope to go for de-escalation of the conflict. And unfortunately, we have to torpedo the misinformation campaign that really wants to tangle the area in a wider conflict. We hope this will not happen. We believe that it is a very good move on the part of the Egyptian leadership to enhance the relationship with a power like China, and the efforts of Egypt is balanced with all the powers of the world. And I hope that we will come to a real solution to what is happening on the eastern border.
Yes, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Hassan Wagih, Professor of Political Sciences at Al-Azhar University. Thank you, sir, for being with us. Dear viewers, short break and we'll be back.